Hi, welcome to Dollar Treasure Hunter. I'm Gary, I'm your host, and I'll be showing you the ins and outs of garage sale and yard selling and sharing with you the finds from every week from my wife and I as we go out and search our area here in Central Florida as well as in the Central Ohio, depending on the time of year, of course. Right now we're both here in Central Florida where it's warm, and I think there's 6 inches of snow in Ohio, so it's not the place to be yard selling. We've been doing this for about the last decade or so, and really enjoy, just like many of you, going out and just seeing what kind of treasures you can find. It's amazing what you can find for as little as $1 or even less sometimes, and that's always my goal. When we go out, we never know what we're gonna see, what's out there. But that's really what makes it fun. We're not digging for gold. We're not up in the mountains looking for coins or at the beach with a metal detector. But the treasures we find are every bit as fun. It's always a surprise. We never know what to expect, and that's what makes it so great. So follow along with me. I hope you'll enjoy what I have to offer. And please stay around to the end, because I'm going to share with you something special at the end of every show. I'm going to share with you the best find of the weekend as well as the most unique one. And so this initial premiere is no different. You're going to see some really cool unique finds, some really good deals for very little. And anybody can do this, and that's the great thing about going yard selling or garage selling. So let's get started. I'm going to share with you one of the first finds since we've been here. We just got back about a month ago, so I'm going to try to catch up with all the different sales. We've been out about 4 to 5 weeks now. And once we get caught up, it'll be pretty much every week. We go out on Fridays and Saturdays and try to find the large community sales. Now, in both Florida and Ohio, there are lots of these. Here in Central Florida, this is Lake County and the surrounding areas around Orlando. We find quite a few neighborhood sales. So there might be 30 to 40 or plus homes. That's really the sweet spot for us. We like to take advantage of that, and because while we're out, we don't want to be driving all over the place. And when we go to a neighborhood sale like that, you can find lots of sales in close proximity. Sometimes, 3 or 4 on one street real close together, so it really saves a lot of time. So this is the first item that I wanted to share with you. This is a pair of, I think it's men's size 8 leather Sperry. These are called topsiders. I've sold a few topsiders since we've started selling online. Some of these I keep, but a lot of times, now this isn't my size. I have pretty big feet, so these size 8s won't fit me, but these are leather. They're very clean. I did check them, with shoes. I try to find shoes that you can, look at the bottoms. You can see how clean they are. These aren't gonna take any cleaning at all. The fronts and backs are really clean. They're immaculate, and they'll be easy to sell. I will be putting this on our brand collective online to sites. We have 4. We're selling on Mercari and Poshmark and eBay and Depop, and so these will be on there by the time you see this video. I paid $1 for these, and that's a pretty good deal. I try to, I'm not a big spender. And that's one of the fun things when it comes to looking for garage sale treasures, is you can find sometimes really good deals. So I remember specifically this one. We got a couple really good deals at this particular yard sale. This being, of course, one of them, $1 a pair of shoes, or two. It's always good when you can find something like that. And so I looked these up for recent sales, as many of you who are into yard selling and garage sales, you know, you can go to eBay and look at solds to get a sense of what to price yours at. Now, some of the more recent November sales, right now it's December the 2nd, I believe. So I tried to find as many recent ones as I could for this exact topsider, the Sperry topsider, and some of the recent solds. One was $43.99, one was $35, and one was $29.95. I'll put those here so you can see those. These will be on the screen. So at $1, you know, I felt that was pretty good turnaround, and I'll probably price these somewhere around $25. So they'll turn over pretty quick. So that was one of the finds. And now this particular first weekend since we got back, I think was gosh, I saw all kinds of different things. The second thing I want to show you, these are called spots. It's a Crown and Ivy is the brand. High rise, skinny. It's a leopard print, skinny jean. It's a denim, but with spots on it, and with this leopard print. This was $2, and it's with tags. Now, I just kind of went out on a limb. I didn't look it up or anything before buying it, but because it was new with tags, and as you can see here, the retail tag says $64, if you can see that, if it's not backwards. I thought, heck, you know, I can't go wrong for $2. I think she wanted 4, but I offered 2, and she was really motivated, and so that was a pretty good deal. So these are clean as they can be, and I'll be posting those as well online. I buy just about anything, men's, women's, not children's so much. It'd have to be pretty special. That's kind of a niche I've not had any success online selling. And my grandkids, though, I will buy things from the boys when I see something just to help out, but for the most part, nothing to resell. Next, same lady. I found these Cole Haan, have the box. These are women's Cole Haan shoes. There's the logo. A pair of these. It's an interesting long name. Cole Haan 4.0 Grand Stitch Light Oxford Etheria knit shoes, and it has alligator kind of heel. They're very clean, except they have a little bit of a smudge on the top, you can see, but other than that, they're really clean. Looks like they might have barely worn them once or twice, but they got a little smudge on them. Maybe they reached down and they had something on their hands, so I'll work to clean that up. Please, in the comments, if you have an idea of what might be a good way for me to clean these without making them worse, I would appreciate that. So these are, as you can see, 0 Grand. They're a woman's size 8, and they're both in really good shape. This is the other one, of course. So this was also, I offered 2 and purchased these for $2. I found them on eBay, on the solds. Oh, let me go back to the Crown and Ivies. The solds were around $12, $12.75, $12. and I spent $2. On these particular ones, $35.99 was the only one that I could find that was even close. This particular Kohan shoe, there were several, but in different shades. I think they had gray and a dark, kind of like a black, and a different shade of brown. The only ones that were close to that, $35.99. I'll probably sell that at $25. Next, I found this really nice book. I don't buy a lot of books, but this one was only 50 cents. It's never been really, I don't know if it's been looked at much at all. It seems like it's a book someone got it more as a gift or a collector's item. It's called Marvel Adventures Vault, in a 2015 hardcover. If you are an Avengers fan like me, it would be something appealing. I didn't see any solds on this. There were lots of them listed on eBay. The sales, the ones that were selling, the price that people are selling them for is ranged from around $19 to $16. But no, I did not see any that were actually sold. That's not a good sign. But it was 50 cents, so I thought I'd take a chance. So that's it's just hard to know sometimes, but at 50 cents, I thought that was a pretty good opportunity. Also, the one other item I bought from the lady with the Kohan shoes and those leopard spot pants is this Islam pair of women's. They are rhinestone cowboy sparkly ankle boots, and these are in really good shape. They're very clean. They're not missing any of the rhinestones. They're zipper type shoes. I have had a bit of success with women's shoes. No authority on them, but if they're not worn at all or barely worn and don't require much cleaning, or like a Nike, I will pick them up. This was $2. The solds I found for this one at $36, one at $21.99 on eBay, one at well, those were the two that I found, and those are the examples you'll see on the screen. So they're an interesting shoe. I have the box. They look really in good shape. So that I thought was worth the purchase. Let me know what you thought about those. Kind of interesting and different. You don't see something like that too often. So now I wanted to show you a couple. One is what I thought was my best buy, and then I'll wrap things up with the most unique thing I found at that weekend. So the best thing I found as far as potentially profitable is this pair of Rydell girls figure skates. Now, my daughter was a skater, so I have a little bit of knowledge of these, and they can be, this is a leather, they're not synthetic. They come with the skate guards, they call these. And in excellent shape. These are very clean. It's the kind of thing where sometimes a parent will let their child, in this case a daughter, try figure skating, and it may not have worked out, or they outgrew these pretty fast. Hard to say which. But the Rydells are not bad. They're not the best brand, but they're not cheap either. And so they had these priced at $6, and I offered $4. And that lady accepted the offer. And these can be very expensive. Now, they were all over the place on solds on eBay. I found them as low as like $35, but as high as 80 something. So I think a fair price would be around 40 or 45. It would probably turn over pretty quick for $4. So not a huge profit, but I mean, they're nice skates. It'd be a good starter skate for any little girl. Very clean. They are leather. They'll last, you know. Of course, kids outgrow shoes pretty fast, but they're a good skate for a girl just starting out. So that was the best. And in some of the other weeks, I found some really nice sale items, but I'm pretty happy with that one. And then the most unique thing I found, now this is something you don't see too often, and I was pretty excited to get it for 50 cents. Same place I got the Marvel book. This is a piece of the Berlin Wall. It is a special collector's piece. It comes in a bag, and what I found, I thought it was pretty neat. It has a certificate of authenticity. It also has a little booklet. Here's the Declaration of Origin. It's a photocopy. You have this Declaration of Authenticity here. And then a little book that even has a map of Berlin and how it was divided up and where the wall was. And in the bag, this little gray bag, is a piece of the Berlin Wall. You know, that was in around 1991. And so I used to sell maps, so I know a little bit about the fall of, and I taught geography as a teacher. So that's a piece of the concrete that went into building the Berlin Wall. I'm assuming it's real. Well, how do you really know? But anyway. So that is pretty cool. 50 cents. That particular lady, I remember specifically, she had a lot of cool collector's types of things. I think she had a lot of collectible comic book things. I do buy those at times. Well, I'm not really an expert in that area. But this was kind of neat. It was definitely the most unique thing I got and found that weekend about a month ago when I first got to Florida. Now we'll be staying here until about May, and then we'll head back north and do the same thing we're doing here in Ohio. So, how did I do? Let's take a quick look. If we go everything, let's see, I spent 50 cents on the Marvel Comics Vault book, selling that for $5. I spent 50 cents on the Berlin Wall, that little piece, a little fragment of the Berlin Wall. That will be listed at $15, well under what it's been selling for. For the Sperry Topsider shoes, I spent $1. Priced that at $25. For the Islam women's sparkly boots, I spent $2, and I'll also list that at $25, which is well under what they're being sold for. For the Cole Haan women's size 8 shoes, I spent $2. I'll also price those at $25, which is also well under most of what those are recently sold for. And then finally, I spent $4 on the Rydell girls figure skates, and I will price those. I'll price them at $35, even though I know that most of the solds were in the $40 to $60+ range. So that's a total of spent of $12 and a potential sale of $140 if I'm able to, once they get listed and sold. So overall, I felt pretty good. Nothing, incredible, but overall, I thought it was a pretty good week. So I look forward to another week, and let's see what happens next time. So I look forward to sharing and hearing what you think of what I find, and any kind of comments you can share with me would be appreciated. Please subscribe, and always stay to the end, because it really makes a big difference. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you'll check it out next time. Have a great day.